If you're thinking about making a move here to the Salt Lake City area, you need to know the difference between the east side and the west side of the valley and what each area has to offer. In today's video, I'm talking about everything you need to know about the east side and the west side of Salt Lake City. Let's get into the video. Also, make sure you stick around because I drive by the Post Malone and Raising Cane's collab restaurant here on the east side. If you spot it here in the video, drop a comment, let me know if you see it. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Right now I'm here on the east side of the valley, and you can see the Wasatch Mountains here right behind me. You can see you get some incredible views here up in this area. But then if we looked over to the west side of the area, we can see the Ochre Mountains back right behind me. As you can see, you also get some awesome views of the Ochre Mountains. But a little bit about here, this area. It's getting cold up here, but one of the things to keep in mind here about the east side, here specifically, I'm over in the area called Cottonwood Heights, and one of the things to keep in mind is this area is going to get a lot more snow than you do down in the valley, or even on the west side. But the cool thing about this area is that if you're into skiing during the winter time, or want to get outdoor activities during the summer, is that you're really close to the ski resorts. So I'm right just about 2 to 5 minutes away from the entrance of the canyon, where you can go up to the Brighton Ski Resort. You're also just a couple more minutes away from the canyon to enter the Snowbird Ski Resort. So that's one of the positive things about living here on the east side, is that you're very close to these areas. You're probably about once you enter the canyon, you're probably about 20-minute drive, 15-20-minute drive, depending on traffic, to be able to get up to the ski resorts. So that's one of the awesome things about living here on the east side, is that you're just a few minutes away to be able to get up to the resorts. Obviously, there's other resorts, in different areas away from this specific canyon, but at the end of the day, one of the things to keep in mind, if you're living on the west side, it's going to be a lot further drive if you want to go up snowboarding or skiing, or even be able to take advantage of some of the hiking trails during the summer. One of the things that also people don't realize is that obviously the east side of Salt Lake County, it spans up from downtown Salt Lake City all the way down to the Draper area. But there's a lot of cities within that span of distance that are part of the east side of Salt Lake County. So you're going to have like the Sugar House area up further north. We have Murray, we have Cottonwood Heights, we have Holladay, we have Sandy, then we have Draper. So we have a lot of these bigger cities that are part of the east side of the valley. And one other thing you have to keep in mind about living here on the east side is that housing is going to be a little bit more expensive, and a little bit higher end homes, especially with being closer to the mouth of the canyon. You're going to be able to find a lot of older homes, but these are really nice higher end homes that are going to come with a price tag, right? You also get some incredible views, which if you're living on this side of the valley, you're also paying for those views as well. But one of my favorite things about the east side is that you have a lot of nice restaurants that you can go to. A lot of restaurants that are not available over on the west side. There are also some grocery stores that you don't find over on the west side. Like Trader Joe's, or if you're looking for like a Whole Foods type of store. Majority of those are going to be here on the east side of the valley. While you still have grocery stores over on the west side, those are going to be your chain stores, kind of like Smith's. We have our Harmon's over as well. There's like a local grocery store called Macy's. So you do have the ability to obviously have access to all the grocery stores and all the groceries that you're going to need. But if you're looking for something like a Trader Joe's or like a Whole Foods, like I said, you're going to be able to find those here on the east side of the valley. But one of the things that I like to let people know is that when you're living here on the east side of the valley, you're going to not only have access to the freeway, you're going to be closer to freeways. Like you have the I-215 Bell route that wraps around here to the between Cottonwood and Holladay area. So you have easy access to the freeways, and then you also have the I-15 freeway that just goes down the middle of the valley, going north to south. But if you're living on the far west side of the Salt Lake Valley, you don't have a whole lot of freeway access or the ability to get around as easily. And there's also a lot more traffic, going up to the west side. But I want to show you a little bit over on that side as well. But let's go in, drive over to the west side. I'll show you a little bit around what that area looks like. But if you're finding this information helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you don't miss out on any of my future videos about what it's like to live here in the Salt Lake City area and the state of Utah. But also, if you're thinking about making a move here to the state of Utah, I get calls and messages from people just like you every single day looking to make their move here to the state of Utah. And I love hearing from you guys. So if you're thinking about making a move here in the next 3 days, 3 months, or even a year from now, feel free to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, or email me. You can also book a call with me directly down below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to helping you make your move to Utah as smooth as possible. Now let's continue with the video. Now I'm here over on the west side now, on the west side of the Salt Lake Valley, in the city of West Jordan at the Jordan Landing Shopping Center. So this is one of the biggest shopping centers here in Salt Lake County, and it has everything you're going to need, from a Walmart, a movie theater, there's a Rush Fun Center, which is like arcades and video games and that type of thing for kids. But this shopping center continues to grow. It's been around for about 15-20 years, but every year they add new things. Like for example, we just got a Chipotle here in the last couple years, and before that there wasn't one here on the west side of the valley. You had to go to the east side if you wanted to go to a Chipotle. But historically, in the last 20-30 years, the west side of the valley was a lot of farmland, a lot of open lots, not a whole lot of housing. And in the last 15 to 20 years, there's been a lot of new construction here in this area. It continues to grow. We have the Daybreak community here on this side. There's a lot of master plan communities that are continuing to build. A lot of builders are over building in this area. If we go farther west to the city of West Jordan and the further west side towards the Ochre Mountains, there's tons and tons of new constructions over in that area. So a lot of the homes that are over there were built in the last 10 to 15 years. So you're going to be able to find a lot of newer homes, and at the end of the day, your money is going to go a lot further than it would over on the east side. There's a lot of cool things here and over in this area on the west side of the valley. There's tons of parks for families. There's tons of activities. There's also a lot of outdoor things you can do on here. There's the Jordan Parkway where there's you can take your bike out there. You can go for a walk. Essentially, it's a trail next to the Jordan River Parkway that's available to the residents here of the Salt Lake County area, or the state of Utah, I suppose. But there's a lot happening over here. There's going to be a lot of growth. Obviously, we have the Salt Lake City International Airport, which is just north of where I'm at right now. It's about a 15-minute drive, but it's going to, like I said, continue to grow. There's a lot of opportunities here when it comes to the west side of the valley. We have the city of West Valley, which is up north from here. We have Kearns, West Jordan, then we have South Jordan. And then we have the city of Harriman, Bluffdale area. These are all areas that are continuing to grow and are going to continue to grow here in the next 10, 20, 30 years. And prices are going to increase just because of a lot of the new shopping centers that are being built here on this west side. So there's a lot of new things that are coming here. to this area, especially if we head down to the Harriman area. But let's go head back to the office. I want to show you a map. It's an overall map of comparing the city of or the east side versus the west side, show you where everything's at. So let's jump over there and check that out. Now we're back in the office. And I want to kind of give you a layout of what the Salt Lake Valley looks like, Salt Lake County, and show you kind of the areas where I was at and what we consider the east and west side of the valley. So here I'm going to show you, I was actually staying right here in this area, right here, that you can see where it's the entrance into the canyon. But as you can see, we have the Wasatch Mountains here to the east, and then we have the Ochre Mountains here to the west. But let's change it up here a little bit so we can see, make it look a little bit better, be easier to read and easier for you to see. But Salt Lake County spans from about this area right here down south to about the Bluffdale area, or the point of the mountain. And as you see, the I-15 freeway goes down right the middle of the valley. Basically, we consider anything east of this the east side of the valley, and then anything on the west side of I-15 is considered the west side of the valley. So as you can see, Salt Lake City, we have Salt Lake, Mill Creek, Murray, Holladay, the Draper area, Sandy. These are all considered the east side of the valley. And as I mentioned, this side of the east side of the valley is a little bit more established. You're going to be able to find older homes. The home prices are going to be a little bit higher. I'd say the average home price on the east side is going to be around probably the 600 to 650,000. Whereas on the west side, the average home price you're probably going to be looking at around 450 to 500,000. But as I mentioned earlier as well, the west side of the valley has a lot of new construction happening, a lot of new communities. While there is still some new communities here on the east side of the valley, a lot of the new construction is happening here on the west side. And as you can see, the west side of the valley, we have some of these bigger cities. We have like the city of West Valley, which is the second biggest city. We have the city of West Jordan. We have Taylorsville, which is pretty centralized. We have South Jordan, which is one of the fastest growing cities here in Salt Lake County, which is also home to the Daybreak area, which has several videos talking about Daybreak and what you need to know about that area. But it's a great place to live. And then we have the Harriman, which is a very fast-growing area as well. It's a very up-and-coming. There's a lot of new construction, a lot of new homes, and a lot happening over there. And then we have the Riverton and Bluffdale area, which it's a fairly new area. It's known for being a lot of farmland, but it's continuing to grow as well. So overall, there's a lot between the two sides of the valley. Each side of the valley is going to have its pros and cons. One of the things to keep in mind if you're living on the west side of the valley is that there's a lot of traffic going up here. So for example, if you live up here in the Ochre area, which is a newer subdivision, during high traffic times, if you're getting off the I-15 freeway and have to come up this way, you're probably going to be sitting there for about 30 to 45 minutes to get up to your home or up in this area. And same goes along for everything around here on this west side of the valley, right? On the west side of West Jordan, the west side of South Jordan, the Daybreak area. There isn't a whole lot of highways to get you here. We do have the Bangerter Highway here, which goes north to south as well. It is a smaller highway. It's not a freeway. There are some stop signs. While in the last several years they have done a lot to be able to kind of streamline that and make it so you don't have a whole lot of lights and make it easier for the flow of traffic. That does help to be able to get over to the west side, but for example, if you're coming from downtown Salt Lake City, you take I-15 all the way down. If you're trying to get to Harriman, it's going to take you about 45 minutes, probably to an hour during heavy traffic. And in the winter, like we are now, it's going to potentially take you a lot longer if it's during a snowstorm. I know that there's been a lot of clips here to do this video, about the winter, during the winter, like these winter clips, and it is winter time during here, but I also have included some summer clips so you can see what it's like here in the summer. It's very beautiful. It's green, and and we get some beautiful weather here during the summer. It can be very hot, so it's something to keep in mind as well. But overall, there's, like I said, there's pros and cons to every area. You have some great access to be able to get to the ski resorts on the east side, but then you also have access to like the freeway, to the airport here on the west side. You have access to a lot of outdoor as well. So just keep that in mind, what's going to be a best fit for you. But if you have any questions about any other areas, about the Salt Lake City area, the east side versus the west side, or anything you need to know, make sure you check out some of these other videos where I talk about everything you need to know about living here in the Salt Lake City area, and what you need to know and what it's like, right? But otherwise, I hope this information has been helpful, and I'll see you on the next video.